Hello, magandang umaga sa lahat. So, may slide po. Okay, so basically, what I'm going to talk about is further details about TUKLAS, the key components of TUKLAS, and a very brief discussion of what's going to happen today, which was actually already shared by Dennis. Can you be my slide? No, that's not it. But okay. So basically, just talking about what Dennis mentioned about us being the third most disaster-prone country in the world. So that's based on the World Risk Index and World Risk Reports that is released annually. Now, since 2011, 2012, 2013, 15, 16, 17, and then 18, we are top three most disaster-prone countries in the world. We just, on 2014, we became the second, actually. So 11 to 18, part of the top three. 2010, we are 6th. 2009, we are 9th. So, pababa tayo, we are declining, or so yeah, that's it. And there are just 3 points on the ranking. So first, the World Risk Index does not calculate human-induced hazards. No, so na-mention kanina ni Dennis, so Vanuatu and Tonga are the first 1 and 2, but we have human-induced hazards. So if you add human-induced hazards, that might put us in number 1, in the entire globe. Second point is that it does not only compute our exposure to natural hazards. It also computes our adaptive capacity. It also computes our disaster preparedness, the effectiveness of disaster preparedness, and the effectiveness of disaster response. So in summary, it has factors that we can change or we can transform. Kasi hazards we can't do anything about the number of typhoons visiting us or that we are located in the Pacific Ring of Fire, but we can improve our disaster preparedness and response. So that boils down to the third point, that if we are part of the top 3 since 2011, and so there might be a need for us to look for other ways to become more prepared for disasters. So we recognize and celebrate the efforts of government, of civil society, and other NGOs and private sector in terms of disaster preparedness. But data shows that we may need to look for other ways, or research and develop other ways for disaster preparedness. And to add, we are 73rd on the Global Innovation Index. That just tells us about our innovation performance. Innovation input and innovation output. Innovation input means the support that we are providing as a nation to innovations in the Philippines. So we are, what the data says is that we are one of the countries that are spending less in terms of research and development. In fact, our share of the research and development expenditure in the GDP is less than the 1% UNESCO benchmark. So mababa yung research and development. So that's why so the 4 organizations thought of supporting the efforts of government and civil society in terms of looking for innovations in disaster preparedness. So we have 40 all over the country. If you can see the dots, that's where they are located. And we provided seed funding, we provided mentorship and technical support. That took place for 8 months last year, and we are here now to showcase the innovations. So how did we do that? So first, we built partnerships. So we partnered. Most of our time was invested in partnering. So we have partners from the private sector, such as PDRF, partners from government, OCD, PhilVox, partners from academe. So we talked with UP, Ateneo, LaSalle, and even regional state universities. We even partnered with those that we don't normally partner with. The humanitarian sector does not normally partner with, for example, the innovation hubs, the startup sector of the Philippines. So we partnered with Lunch Garage, we partnered with Idea Space, and QBO. And we also established innovative internal systems. So that means the flexibility of the organizations, because to be honest, there was a struggle internally within the organizations on how to implement such a unique and innovative project. But the struggle brought out innovations from our internal processes. Like for example, we have sub-granting mechanisms that are different from what we normally do. Our structure is different. Our due diligence process is different. So this became like more of a new and innovative steps in doing innovation for humanitarian organizations. And then lastly, and I think most important, and something that we are proud of, is that we support community empowerment. So we made sure from the beginning, people from the vulnerable sectors, people from the disadvantaged communities are part of the selection process, are part of those that can submit ideas to us, are part of those that are implementing the innovations. So what happened was, so that's an example. The picture is an example of we asked children to judge the ideas that were submitted to us. So from 266 proposals, we shortlisted to 72, and then from 72, we selected 40. And the selection process was rigorous. It took us 2.5 months, but we made sure that people from the communities are involved. And what we emphasize to our innovators is that they don't just innovate for the community, they innovate with the community. So the communities became co-designers, the communities were co-implementers, co-testers. So essentially they are co-innovators, because we want to prove that everyone, regardless of your educational background and social status, everyone can innovate and inspire innovation. And so, however, our pockets are not bottomless. So we are looking for support. So this was actually also presented in the regional fairs. We did regional fairs, similar activities, regional level. So one in Baguio City, one in Quezon City, Tacloban City, and Davao City. And this is the final one, the national one. And this is what we ask the audience always. So for example, for people coming from the government, from DILG, from OCD, from local government units, perhaps you can support our innovations by accessing government funding. For example, the Local Disaster Risk Reduction Management Fund, which is at least 5% of your IRA. Perhaps you can use that to support innovations. So you can you can visit the exhibit and look at the innovations which may be applicable in your municipalities and cities. So for private companies, businesses, perhaps you can help our innovators further develop their business models, and also perhaps you can purchase their innovations and use their innovations. So be part of the innovation process, be part of their businesses. For NGOs, perhaps you can integrate that in your programming. So we have a lot of NGOs here. Perhaps some of the innovations here would be relevant for your programs, something that you can integrate in your programs to be able, so that we can scale up and sustain the innovations that support the country. And the academe, with your expertise in research and development, perhaps you can also look for support the innovations in that aspect. And then finally, presenting to you the team that day and night work for us for this project to be possible. So these people are come from five teams. So we have a team in Baguio City led by CDRC, which covers Northern Luzon. We have a team in Quezon City, which is led by CARE, which covers Central and Southern Luzon. We have a team in Tacloban City, which covers the Visayas region, which is led by Plan International. And then we have a team in Cotabato City led by Action Against Hunger, which covers the Mindanao innovations. If you want to know more about TUKLAS, you can visit our website, visit our Facebook page, or approach any staff that wears a TUKLAS logo. So we'll be very much willing to share with you our experiences. So thank you very much, and pleasant morning to all.